Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Enter Code Podcast. Episode 3.
We're back.
You thought you can get away from us after 2 episodes, but no, we're back. We have a 3rd episode. So, I am one of your hosts, Ryan Welch.
And I am the other good-looking host, John Jefferson Jr., Triple J, if you must. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Don't get it twisted. He is the better looking of us, too. He's very humble. He's very modest about it.
Humble's my middle name.
Okay, that was a little too much.
Oh,
That was a little too much. So, episode 3, we had a grand plan. We really did.
We did.
We had some good stuff we wanted to talk to you guys about. However, given everything going on this week, it for me, I guess it just didn't feel right talking about video game stuff and talking about pop culture stuff. I figured we can talk about that another time. We just have a lot on our mind, given all the circumstances that are going on this past week. So we're recording on today's Saturday, May 30th. So just to give you some feedback about where we're locating, or where we're recording. I'm sorry. I really just felt like I wanted to take some time and process what we're experiencing, because I also think from both of our backgrounds we have a lot of interesting viewpoints. So I know John was a little hesitant about doing this. So thank you for doing this. Because I kept thinking, man, I'm not excited to talk about our usual stuff. So hopefully you give us a chance. We just really want to take some time and discuss what we're feeling about all the events that are happening across the nation. And we want to end the show with hopefully some positivity, with things that make us happy, things that help us get through these really dark, difficult times. Also, our heroes in our life, who helps us and guides us and helps us see different perspectives and who makes things better. So, thank you for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Don't worry, we're going to get back to our normal stuff next time.
It just felt right, like this is what we need to talk about right now. And just, it's not going to be all anger, negativity, things like that. But, we just wanted to use this as an outlet to just kind of get some stuff off our chest, kind of like what Ryan was saying. And we hope that some of you can relate, and if you have anything that you want to share, feel free to leave a comment on our Facebook. You can tweet us, you can leave a voicemail on Anchor, and we'd love to hear feedback from you too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that now is a great time to just talk about what we're feeling, and I think it helps us process. So with that being said, I will make a note that we want to do a next episode. We do want to film it after PlayStation broadcasts their PlayStation 5 reveal on June 4th.
Wait, we're filming? They get to see us?
Why not?
Oh, snap.
I mean, we have the technology. We could we could film us watching it, so a live reaction. If you want.
Ooh.
Or we can watch it, when it broadcasts live, 1 p.m. Pacific time on all of the social media pages, and YouTube as well. So for PlayStation. But yeah, we could watch it live if you want, and then record later. Okay. Our thoughts and feelings. We could record ourselves, film ourselves, and have it playing, and just our live reaction. Me rolling my eyes and
being
and
like,
you,
yes,
yeah,
Sony,
you drooling.
Give it to me now.
It's gonna be an exciting show. It'll be an exciting show. So
yeah.
We'll film that on Thursday. But again, for right now, we just really want to talk about how we're feeling about what's going on in the world. So I guess I'll start first since I'm forcing you to do this.
Yeah, you big old meanie.
I'm a big old meanie. This week has been very troubling. And I think I'll just start off with this. I'll start off with some honesty. I find myself every once in a while like getting into this false sense of hope that things are getting better. And that's probably because of my, just me being ignorant and me not really paying attention to everything going on in the world. I try to keep up to date, but, there's times where I feel like, oh man, maybe things are finally getting better. And then something like this happens.
And then reality hits.
So it's been very challenging. And this is just from my perspective. I am a white man. Obviously, my perspective, I have no clue about the reality of what African Americans go through, what our Latino brothers and sisters go through. My life is different, and I realize that. So I hope I don't offend with any of my thoughts or anything like that. But I, unfortunately, because I live on Twitter, that's another fault of mine. I really probably shouldn't. I did watch the video of George Floyd and what happened. And man, that was difficult to watch. It's out there still, I'm sure. You can watch it if you want to. Obviously, be careful. It's going to stir some thoughts and feelings inside. But watching the video, it was horrific. It was disgusting. It didn't need to happen. I can't imagine what would go through someone's head thinking, hey, I gotta kneel on this dude's neck. Especially with 3 other of my partners leaning on him as well. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't process it. And it's just sad because it just continues to happen over and over and over and over and over and over again. We think, we're making a step forward, 2 steps forward, and then we just take this giant leap back when something like this happens. So it's very hard seeing these things and seeing the reaction that everyone's having. It's really just an awful, awful thing to happen. So that's been hard to process for me. But that's just my perspective. And again, I'm a white dude. I'm clueless. I really am. Obviously, what my life is like is very different than what other people are going through. So, for me, this week has been very hard going through and seeing all the videos and seeing all the actions from both sides. And it's been challenging to say the least. John, what do you... I feel like I just need to leave you a ton of time. Give me your thoughts. How are you feeling?
I haven't watched the video, and I don't know that I can bring myself to do it because...
Smart move.
Just certain things bring out certain feelings in me, and, not saying I live in a little bubble, but I try not to focus on certain things of, yes, I am an African-American male living in a predominantly white area. I told my wife the other day, I do fear if I go for a run at night or something, or walk around with my daughter, am I going to get weird looks? And I don't really think that's necessarily the case. Like with, our neighborhood, I feel like most people are pretty open and, at least out here in Utah, I feel like people are very, well, at least what I've come across, are very friendly. I don't feel like I have to walk with my head and not make eye contact. A lot of people are like, hey, how are you? How's it going? Oh, your daughter's so cute. And I'm like, thanks. But growing up in the South and stuff, I had my life threatened when I was dating a female, and yes, she was of a different ethnicity, and that was kind of scary and nerve-wracking. And I was like, okay, yep, nope, this is over. But, literally it was just if I find out that you're dating that word you don't call us, because then that brings out other emotions, and yeah.
Yep.
But with what's going on with, the Floyd situation and these riots, and it's okay, I get it. Being peaceful protesting didn't get any results. Things didn't really change until we decided to escalate. And when we escalated, then that's when we got results. But the whole looting and destroying property and like, you know, even stuff that's going on like, you know, in our backyard is just, it's gut-wrenching. It's like, okay, there's no hope for humanity. And, you know, I've been grateful for people that I've come in contact with, you know, especially in my life, who have never made me necessarily feel different for being an African American. They've gotten to know me as John. And, you know, John's a nerd. John likes anime and video games. And he's a big kid. Like, he likes action figures. Action figures, not dolls.
Get it right. Get it right.
So I've been grateful for that. And I want my daughter to necessarily not have to go through things that I went through, but I know if things stay like how they are, she might have that exposure. And, you know, am I going to be there as the father to be able to protect her? And I can't protect her from everything, I know that, but I fear for when that time comes when someone treats her differently because the color of her skin, and it should never be that way. And I know there's the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and I feel like all lives matter, like on both sides. Like, you shouldn't be going after someone because of the color of their skin, and we shouldn't use such excessive force. Like, you should never put your knee into someone's throat, like when you're, you know, trying to restrain them. You can put them on the ground, but listen, if they say, I can't breathe, okay, you still got them in handcuffs, and it doesn't take 4 of you to restrain someone. And obviously, from what I can tell, it wasn't fighting back. I mean, I know from my experience, I'm not going to fight back if cops are coming at me. Heck, I've had an instance where, you know, just driving, trying to make it to go be with my family for family dinner, I had a cop pull me over. I wasn't speeding. He said I was tailing too close to the car in front of me. And I was like, I'm in traffic. What do you expect me to do? And, you know, I saw his hand kind of slowly go back to like he was reaching for a gun. And in my heart, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm about to get shot. Like, this is not how this is supposed to end. And like, I guess he thought I was being confrontational, and I'm not confrontational. I do have some bass in my voice, so it may come off that way, but I was just like, all right, 10-2, here we go. Yes, officer, I'm good. Whatever you say, I'm not talking back to you. I was just trying to understand what's going on. But it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain to someone who's never had to go through that, what that fear is like.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my wife, bless her heart, she wants to understand what those struggles are. You know, we are in an interracial relationship, and she's gotten a better understanding since we've been married, but she doesn't know a lot because I'm not a very open person. But I think it's time that I do talk to her and just give her a better idea, especially so she knows how to help me get through things and understand where I'm coming from. And I think that'll help us as a couple, and also, you know, better help teach our daughter together so we both know that aspect of her.
Yeah. I again, I don't know what you go through. I don't. But one thing that I do agree with you, and I do the same thing, is I keep things in instead of talking to my wife.
Fort Knox locked down.
Woo! Got this lockbox. All right, you guys just get it right in there. Just lock it up tight. And that's not the right thing to do. And I know that, so I totally hear you on that one. What would you say? So here's in our age, 2020. You know, growing up,
2020 sucks.
Oh my gosh, worst year ever. Growing up, we, you know, obviously back in the good old days, there's no streaming services. You know, you're sitting in front of the television, watching the news, watching programs, things like that. Nowadays, when we want to get on have some entertainment, we go to our streaming sites. I don't necessarily go on news channels and things like that. I, you know, pick a TV show or pick a movie or a comic, whatever, you know, instead of like turning on the 6 o'clock news, it's time to watch, you know, Gary St. Jean and blah, 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 you know what I mean? So I'm assuming that your daughter hasn't really seen anything
No.
right now, right?
No.
I mean, and I don't think she needs. Well, I don't think she needs to see this, especially all the footage of all these protests that start off peaceful and then ended, are ending terribly.
Like, I want her to keep her childlike innocence and stay in her bubble for as long as I can. Like, I tried to teach her a little bit for Black History Month.
Okay, that was going to be my question. What have you, or what do you want to tell her?
I want her to know that, you might get looked at a little differently, but who you are and how you treat people weighs that 100 times over. Like, it was like, I got a book from the DI, and it's probably the best $2 that I ever spent. And the DI, just so you don't know, it's like a thrift store, a secondhand shop.
Deseret Industries.
Yeah. And I got this book, and it was a bunch of like African American stories. So it had like John Henry and things that
Yeah.
but also had all these other different like African stories that I'd never heard of. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to read that book with her, but then it's also like just trying to gauge what age I should like explain further in depth than that. And I was like, well, just so you know, you're half mommy and you're half daddy, and you're a little different than your friend around the corner. And it's like, as soon as you start talking, trying to tell a 5-year-old, it's just shoo over their head.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, we're not ready yet. Just be nice. And kind of piggybacking on that, like, everybody is talking about what's going on right now. Like, you can't escape it. Like, downtime at work, everybody wants to talk about it. I go in the office and I need something taken care of. They're talking about it. And I actually had a pretty good conversation with my office manager today, and we're just kind of talking about our feelings on it, and kind of like what you were saying. She's like, I don't know what you go through. Like, I have lived in my sheltered life and bubble in Utah. I don't know what you experience, but she's like, I want you to know I love you. Mm-hmm. Like, I appreciate you for who you are. Like, we joke about the color thing, and oh, you're a brother, and teach me how to do things because I don't have any groove and stuff like that. And we can laugh about it. I'm like, okay, I'll teach you how to Dougie. Let's go. But it's nice to have people who genuinely care about you for who you are, because they've taken the time to get to know you and not just prejudging you. Mm-hmm. And like, see, now you got me on a tangent.
Good. Good.
But like, I feel, and this is kind of one of those things where I can acknowledge it, or I can just kind of go about my business and pretend it's not there. But I'm not oblivious to it. But even going to a shop, like going to a store or something, like, I catch eyes my way. Not everybody's going to look at me weird, but I get a look certain times, and this look that people are giving you, and you're just kind of like, hi, how's it going? And it's funny, like, growing up in the South, like, all my friends would be like, oh, John, you're the whitest black boy that I know. And I was like, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Like to this day, I still don't know what that means. I'm like, because I carry myself a certain way. I don't use the slang a lot. Like, I mean, I know how to. If you ask my coworker at work, he's like, he basically put it this picture. He's like, he said, because we're the only brothers there, and he's like, he said he's 50 Cent and I'm Bryant Gumbel. And I was like,
wow.
But he was like, don't get it twisted, because John has that ghetto side that can come out. You guys just don't hear it, because he puts on that, hi, how's it going? How may I help you today? And I'm like, yeah, that's because I have to. I don't want to scare people. Can you imagine me walking up and using my normal voice? So like, hey, how's it going today? How can I help you? I've tried to do that before, and I've scared little old ladies. Like, it's all in the approach. So if you seem less threatening, and I'm a big dude, like, I'm bigger than most people I know.
Yeah.
So the less threatening and intimidating I can be, the more easier it's going to be for everyone's existence, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. One of these days we'll talk about your coworker, because 50 Cent just seems just not right. No. I guess I need to have more of a conversation with him before.
Right?
Kidding! I'm kidding. No, I appreciate your tangent. I appreciate your thoughts. Because, again, I've known John for a while now, and I know he keeps things internally. He doesn't speak out much. He keeps it all in his lockbox inside. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do something like this for this episode tonight, because I think we do need to talk about it. It's something that needs to be talked about. No, we don't need to flip over cars. Although we can go down there. We live in northern Utah, about 30 minutes north of Salt Lake. Mm-hmm. So there was a protest today. Seeing the footage of that protest, I mean, some interesting things went on both sides. But besides that, I don't know. I just don't think, especially with how horrific things have gone again, and that sucks saying that. Oh, it's gotten bad again. Oh, something happened again. It's been bad, and I just wanted to talk about it. So,
I said this in episode 1, and I might even said it in episode 2. I'm blaming everything on the Rona.
Mm-hmm.
I think the COVID-19, the quarantine, it's made us crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think things would have escalated as bad if we weren't dealing with all this craziness already. Like, we've already got, depression levels have gone up, anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Like, suicidal thoughts of my life as I know it. Like, I don't know how to exist now. We don't know how to be humans because our norm is, there is no norm.
Yeah. And watching all the protests that have been going on, has been on the back of my mind. I mean, the protests are very, very important, and I'll talk more about the protests here in a second, but they've been really important. I'm now, in the back of my mind, I get little reminders every once in a while. I'll be like, oh, how many people don't have masks? Oh, no. This is bad enough. This situation's horrible. And then now we're going to add on to the fact, oh, geez, how are there going to be any cases that are going to blow up now because everyone's clashing with each other? And that's been hard. So, yeah, having this has been a horrible year. My word. Absolutely horrible. One thing I wanted to talk about that's bugging me, because again, I feel like I got to get this off my chest. And I don't think, it's not a hidden fact, but I think what makes this worse, as a white guy, what makes this worse is seeing all the footage of the open up the state protests that happened a few weeks back. Mm-hmm. Seeing all that footage of white people, men and women, going to their state capitals with freaking guns in their hands. Like big old assault rifles, pistols, everything. Open carry states.
Right.
Whatever. Idiots, but, fine, whatever. But they're in the Capitol screaming at police, armed. And nothing happens. No one's pushing anybody. No one's getting the batons out. Nothing. And then we have peaceful protests that are happening. And started off happening. They did start off peacefully. There's lots of footage out there of other protests around the country that some are still, some are still peaceful. But it escalates. And there's plenty of footage going around and interesting footage, by the way. Really interesting footage of people looting. We see the looting and the damage being done, but then you see a crowd of African Americans and of some white people too, yelling at them saying, "What are you doing? Stop it." And that is driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. The majority of the people, I feel personally, and I could be wrong, let me know. I won't shy away from comments, so let me know on social media, leave a voicemail on Anchor, whatever you want to do. I feel that the majority of the people want this to be peaceful, and there's just some weird bad apples out there trying to cause more stuff to go on. And it does feel like a very weird conspiracy theory. And I try to stay away from conspiracy theories, because it's just come on. But seeing some of the footage, it really gets me thinking. I'm like, okay, why are those 3 people bashing windows and the crowd of 20 around them are telling them to stop? And yet we're thinking that this whole group is violent.
Yeah, it's not the whole group.
And it's not the whole group. So what is the motive of these other people? Why are they looting? Why are they tipping cars? Again, I'm trying not to buy into baseless conspiracy theories, but watching the videos, and again, I apologize to my wife. I'm on Twitter too much. I know I am. It's horrible. But I'm seeing all this footage pop up, and I'm just like, something's not right. Something's not right at all.
Well, it's just like with anything, like even with these cops, like even with my history of being pulled over so much just for dumb reasons, to find any reason just because they saw the color of my skin growing up in the South, like, I don't think all cops are bad.
Right.
But there are a few bad apples, and even with like the whole protest and everything, there are those few bad apples that are making it rough for everyone else. Mm-hmm. And that's with any situation. Like, you can even see that like in your everyday life. At work, I'm sure there's a few bad apples that make it rough for you, for everyone else that's not a bad apple, to enjoy their day. And it's like, when you see those certain people, you're like, my stress, my anxiety just went up. But when they're not there, you're like, I'm on cloud 9. I feel great.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you see, this has been making the rounds, but Chris Rock had a stand-up special, I don't know how many years ago, but there's a little clip that keeps going around of a joke he made. So he made a joke about the police and saying, yeah, there might be some bad apples in the police, right? But then he's like, why is that with the police? Why is it okay for these bad apples to be on the police? Can you imagine like American Airlines saying, oh, we have a couple bad apples who can't land a plane? Right? It's like,
wow.
It's, it brings up a very interesting perspective. And I agree with you 100%. There are some police officers that are amazing. We have someone in our ward, in our church.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
He's a patrolman, right? State patrolman? Highway patrolman?
I think so, yeah.
Just the greatest dude. He's super nice, super friendly, awesome to talk to. So we know it's not all police, but there are these bad apples that just escalate things.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to watch. Again, we are 30 minutes north of Salt Lake, so I did see some footage of the protest. Again, there are some things I didn't quite agree with. There's a lot of vandalizing, a lot of spray paint.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know. I'm torn, honestly. I know that people are angry. So part of me is just like, do what you got to do. I know you're angry. Mm-hmm. I know we have money in our budgets to fix things. That car, those cars are insured. They'll get new ones. The paint remover, it's not going to cost a lot for the city to just remove the paint. I get it, though. I totally... Anyway, I'm torn on it because I don't want it to happen, but at the same time...
You can understand that feeling. And
just how angry people are. And I'm just like, who am I to tell them no? Anyway, tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me I'm right. We can have this talk. Me personally... I feel weird telling others how to react. If they want to be mad and stomp and kick, like, you do you. And, I don't want it to happen. I don't want people getting hurt, and people are getting hurt.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad. It's very, very bad. Talking about the protest today in Salt Lake, there was a couple videos I saw of, there's one guy who... I'm not sure what he was thinking. And, of course, with videos, you start at a certain point. Mm-hmm. So who knows what happened before the video started.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? You don't know. But the footage we see is he decides to get a bow and arrow out. And I don't know if he was going to Robin Hood on these fools and just, channel his inner Green Arrow and Hawkeye and just, start... shooting arrows at people. So he's got this bow and arrow and he's yelling and threatening people. So of course, how are they going to respond? These angry people, they flipped his car and I attacked him basically because he had this bow and arrow. So again, what bugs me about that is that the news gets a hold of him and it's giving him airtime. Why are you giving this guy airtime at this point? It doesn't make any sense.
And you have to wonder, with that, do some of these people just do it because they know the crazier they get, the more likely they're going to get their 5 seconds of fame?
Good TV time, man. Good TV time. I mean, it would look great. He got a shiner. He was blooded up a little bit. Yeah, throw him on the news. Get his point of view out. And then there was another video of a cop pushing over this 75-year-old man who was just standing on the side, wasn't even part of the protest, just grabbed his riot shield and shoved him. There's lots of videos all over the country of cops shoving people. There's really bad ones of NYPD cruisers that run into people as they're protesting, or like shot forward and hit a barrier that a bunch of people were behind and sent them all flying. You know, there's another one, the police officer on a horse trampled over a lady.
No wonder we're burning everything.
Oh, man. There's, you know, rubber bullets are just flying, even hitting reporters. Some lady, I can't remember her affiliate, who she's with, but she ended up tweeting out that she needs surgery on her eye because a bullet hit her in the eye. So that could affect her livelihood, basically, of her doing her job.
You can choose where you aim. You don't have to aim for, like, a vape, you know?
Hit him in the guts.
Hit him in the guts. Hit him in the leg. Mm-hmm. You don't need to aim for the... Oh, my gosh.
Right. So there's a lot of things that are going on. Lots of video footage out there. And it's hard to watch. And I'm an idiot, and I'm watching it all. But I feel so ignorant about the situations that have been going on. And I just feel like I'm not going to do it again. That's why I keep looking at the videos. That's why I keep looking at all these posts. Because I don't want to lure myself into that sensibility where I think everything is going to be okay and we're getting better. Because we're not getting better.
No, it's getting worse.
It's getting worse. And that's hard. So yeah, I'm going to keep looking at all this stuff, and I'm probably going to keep getting angry and keep getting frustrated. But I feel like I need to do it to remind myself, this is real, this is what's going on, and it's not fair, and don't think for a second it's going to be fair. No. Because we can't, you see the one side of the white protesters armed in a federal building. Nothing happens. Nothing happens at all. And now there's people on the streets getting hurt. So it's hard. It's very, very hard. Man, I don't know. I do feel better talking about it.
It is, that's what's great about this, and we hope that you're, enjoying our point of view, and maybe you can relate, maybe you can't, but we just want to use this as a way to get this off our chest, and it is good, and maybe that's what you can do too, is find someone, significant other, a friend. If you know us, you can reach out to us and we can talk. Yeah. It's good to get this out, and this is something that you should not keep bottled in. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, yeah, I've had my issues with, being judged based off the color of my skin, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I feel like that's gotten a little better. I feel like things, even my wife's family, I think they were excited to have a brother in the family.
Hey!
When we were first dating, we had a couple of nieces and nephews before they were my nieces and nephews, friending me on Facebook, and they're like, oh, this guy's gonna be cool. And then, we got married, and they're like, oh yeah, have you met Uncle John? He's awesome, and Uncle John's the best, and this and that. And I'm like,
that's right.
I didn't do anything special, I'm just me. But they never brought out, oh, Uncle John's cool because he's black. It's Uncle John is cool because Uncle John is cool.
That's right.
He'll actually get down, and I would play with the younger kids back then, early on in our marriage.
Before his back went out.
Hey man, I'm still strong, strong like ox. But it's been nice to feel accepted, if that makes sense. And sense. Even in our ward, and yeah, I stick out like a sore thumb. There's few and far between minorities in our ward.
But I will also say that John is 6'6".
That is true too.
We have that aspect, but no, you're absolutely you're 100% right. Our ward, our church is Caucasian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even that, you would expect, I don't know, and this could just be from my own experience, being younger, you would think an older generation would kind of look at you weird, but no, even the older ones are oh, hey, nice to see you, Brother Jefferson, we love your family, it's been great. Did you hear that? That was my salesman voice that came out.
That was nice.
That was weird.
It put me at ease.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm here for you, big guy.
Thank you.
But just things like that have made me feel very blessed, and just kind of, I don't have a lot more to get off my chest on this. I just kind of wanted to, well, before we get into my tangent of just kind of examples that it made me kind of who I am, did you want to say any more on?
You know what? Just let me do a couple things. One, since you mentioned it, I'm actually very, very happy that my kids call you Uncle John. Because you are Uncle John.
Yeah.
All right? I don't know what we would do without you. Because, you know, you're kind of special.
I'm getting all warm and fuzzy now.
That's right. We're going to have some tears in here. No, you are very special to all of us. And me too. So, yes, this also made me worry about you a little bit. Probably another reason why I wanted to talk about this. Just like, I know John's feeling some stuff. Let's give him an outlet. The only thing I'll say next, and then we can kind of try to talk about some things that are, you know, maybe making us try to be happier, things to help out. The one thing I really want to say is I hope and I pray that those of you who are out there protesting, making your voices be heard, putting your bodies on the line. I mean, those rubber bullets, man. Like, you see some pictures online.
Ooh,
holy cow! Like, people get messed up with those bullets and those bean bags and stuff like that. I do hope that you are all safe, no matter what your viewpoint is. I hope that you are being safe out there. I want you to know that I am supportive. I really am. I wish I had the courage to go out there and protest. I really do. I don't run fast from the cops, though.
Big target.
Oh gosh. How many rubber bullets do you think they can hit me in just on my girth?
Right?
Goodness gracious. I would be a human target. But anyway, I hope that you guys are safe. I am with you. There are ways that you can still support if you don't feel that you can get out there. One thing is talking. Say what you feel. Don't hold it in. For me, I am horrified about what happened, and I want everyone to know that I'm here for you, if that helps you. But I want you to know that I do support you and I support your cause. And I really do hope, and I hope I don't sound like an idiot, I hope that this does finally bring some changes. The pessimistic side of me says, no, don't be an idiot, but I can't help it. I hope this is the final straw, but I just, we know it's not going to be. I think one of the biggest things you can do if you're not out there protesting is be ready to vote this November. I don't care if you vote Republican or Democrat. I want you to vote for who you think is right and who you think is going to help make this world a better place.
You need to be heard.
You need to be heard. Your voice and your vote does count. It does. Don't let anybody twist your words and say, "Oh, well, your vote doesn't really count." That's a bunch of crap. Your vote counts. I know what I'm voting for. It's definitely not going to be an orange color, but that's just me. Because I want to vote for people who I know are going to try to make this world a better place. And I hope you do so as well. But not only that, there are lots of funds that are out there that you could always donate to. There's a Minnesota fund that a lot of people have been donating to that are helping those who are protesting. You see a lot of online posts about lawyers who are going to work, pro bono and help those who may not have the money to help themselves, especially when they get in this situation, if they get arrested or anything like that. But anyway, there's the Minnesota Freedom Fund, for example. That's one of those major funds that a lot of people are donating to, which is a very cool cause. There's also other funds to take into account. The Black Lives Matter, it's not fund, it's where is it? Sorry, guys. I should have been more prepared for this. If you search up Black Lives Matter Global, like Global Fund, you should be able to find it. But you can make a donation there if you want to contribute to that cause as well. So there's lots of things you can do if you don't feel like getting out there on the street and putting your lives on the line. There's a lot of ways you can still support, but
we can all play our part.
We can play your part. Yes, absolutely. So I encourage you to do that. Again, I'm here if you want to talk about this. Again, my perspective may not be your cup of tea, but honestly, I feel I'm tired of seeing this happen. I feel ashamed for thinking that things are getting better when I knew it wasn't. Like, it was just stupid of me to think that, oh man, maybe it's now 2020, oh, maybe after a few hundred years now we all have equal rights. Nope. Same crap, different year. So
no, but anyway. We have to have that false sense of hope. Like, hope is what gets me going day to day.
Yeah.
I pray every night that the next day is going to be good. Like, my mantra every day before work is, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And if I can at least find one good thing in the day, then at least it's working. Something is coming through.
Yep. I feel horrible for George Floyd's family. I feel horrible for all those protesters getting hurt. Look, I don't want police to get hurt either. There's some video of police walking with the protesters, which are just heartwarming. I love seeing that. Everyone together knowing that this situation's wrong and they're together protesting. That's been great. I wish it would happen more. It's definitely not. In some states, it's not happening that way. But
no.
Oh, man. I wish it would. So, anyway, I'm praying and hoping for change. And I hope that people will remain safe. But I hope that this will one day bring about change that we need. So that's all. That's all I'll say. Remember how I was going to keep it short?
Yeah, we don't know what that means.
Sorry. It's just bugging me. It bugs me so much.
It's going to keep bugging us till things change.
I know.
That's just how it is.
I really cannot stand that we've had protests this past month and you see two sides of it and it's like unbelievable. Anyway, gosh. Whew, I'm getting heated again. Okay, go ahead. You wanted to wrap up your thoughts, and then we can end the show with hopefully some positivity for you guys.
And kind of piggybacking on that, like, I just wanted to end with some positivity of, like, there have been examples to me of, hey, you're more than just a color. You're more than just a race that you have to fill out in the card. Like, like my grandfather, he had like a middle school education, but he was one of the sharpest men that I knew. Like, I don't remember everything about him, but I remember everybody went to him for stuff, like to fix things. Like, my dad would tell me stories that he could take something apart, lay it out, and then put it back together and fix it. He just had that sharp mind, but nobody looked at him as like, oh, he's a brother. They looked at him and was like, oh, that's Charles. Like, we know. And I was like, yeah, that's my papa. And, my dad, like, he's put himself out there. He's a business owner. And I don't feel like people look at him the color of his skin. They look at his performance and his work. Like, he taught me how to work with my hands. So there's lessons to be taught from, like, our fathers and people that have come across us. Like, even best friends growing up, like, their parents always treated me like a family member. Like, I always felt like, I always had, like, I had this family. I had my white mama, or I had my, Scottish mama, or I had my Hispanic mama, or, I got Big Mama over here. And, everybody was just so loving.
You knew Martin Lawrence's Big Mama?
Right?
Wow.
Nah.
Lucky.
But it's just, I know that with all this hate and violence and people being upset and sadness going on, like, there are a lot of good things going on out there, and you are more than just what is on the surface. Like, who you are internally plays a big factor. Like, I don't think I would have made it this far if I hadn't had that foundation to know early on. Like, I never really thought about, oh, I'm a brother. Like, I knew I was African American, but that was never my first thought. It was like, hey, get to know me. Like, I'm awesome. Like, even when it came to dating, I was like, hey, get to know me. Like, I'll make you laugh, and, you know, I'll treat you right. I'm not going to have the flashiest car and this and that, but I want you to feel special. Mm-hmm. And, like, you know, I'm a big guy, but I'm a big softie. And one of the things that I love to do is to give people hugs. I mean, before this whole COVID-19 started, and I can't do that anymore.
Right,
but like,
right.
that was one of the things that I like to do, is give you a hug. And when I give you a hug, it's not like a little pat on the back. It's a big bear hug. It's a, hey, I want you to know that you're loved. Like, I'm grateful for you being in my life and things like that. Like, I even do that with customers. And they just be like, oh, thank you. Like, I had this one little lady, she was like 4 foot nothing. And she just kind of looks up at me and she's like, how tall are you? I was like, I don't know, like 6'4", 6'5", somewhere around there. You remind me of my deceased husband. Can I just hug you? And I was like, sure. She's like, yeah, I miss this feeling. I just feel safe in your arms. Thank you, darling. And I was like, yay. Proud moment there.
Proud moment. Absolutely.
But yeah, I just try to find something positive during all this craziness, whether it's your kid waking up and saying, hey, mom, dad, thank you for this, or hey, I appreciate you did the dishes, or, you know, you took the trash out, or you just take time to be with family. Like, I know things are opening up. Get out and go to the park. Enjoy nature. Like, it's beautiful outside. Minus the crazy winds we're dealing with right now.
Ooh, that was interesting.
It's knocked off so many branches off my tree. I'm like, please don't hit my neighbor's house or land on their yard. Like, no.
Utah weather's a bit unexpected every once in a while.
Changes every 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. We love it. Well, I agree. 100%. Finding time to get your mind off things, but be with loved ones, I think is also very important. You know, just trying to spend time with my kids as much as I can. I work at a charter high school here in northern Utah. So last week was very crazy with getting things ready for graduation and virtual graduation. I think it worked out well. I think the seniors were happy, but that's besides the point. But, you know, trying to spend some more time with family and trying to do good wherever you're at. If that means some kind of service for your neighbor or for your family member or something like that, then definitely I think that'll help you, make you feel better.
I mean, heck, even just send them a text message and say, hey, I was thinking about you. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to say hi. That means the world.
Yep. Reaching out. I mean, you are also allowed to call. I mean, I'm allergic to calling.
Yeah, calling, no. Mm-mm.
So I prefer
I can't
text. But
it makes me sick.
Oh, wow, what happened to us? Texting just made things so convenient. Like, wait, who wants to call anymore? That's overrated. No, I've been, my charitable service has been trying to help my 7-year-old understand Minecraft Dungeons. That's been
oh, jeez,
my struggle.
The struggle is real.
Ooh, man. If he could just watch the game and still get, like, loot that looks cool, that it doesn't really matter the power, then I think it'd be fine. Then he'd have a good time. It's just that dungeon crawler thing that, you know, you want the best loot that's more powerful, but it may not be the cool hammer. It might be the sword, which looks boring.
But that damage, though.
Well, right. You gotta have the damage, you know? So he was confused. I got a diamond pickaxe. And he's like, that's the most powerful weapon! And I'm like, nah, it actually isn't there, dude. Nope. I got something else. Oh, anyway. Playing video games has been it's helped a lot, I think. Hasn't helped too much, because it's still, this whole thing just is on the mind, and it's not going away, but man, finding some games. There's been some great streamers out there that are also very supportive and speaking out about this, and those streams have been nice. There's a great podcast called Spawn on Me, where they had this great panel the other day. You should look it up. It's on twitch.tv. They also have it on YouTube, but there was a great panel of various streamers and people of color that are they just needed a platform to get their feelings out. And so listening to their perspective, and man, it was great. So there's a lot of things you can do to keep your mind off things, but also remain informed, remain educated, and we got a fly. There's a fly in the booth. Anyway, so yeah, definitely check it out. Spawn on Me podcast. This week's episode was tremendous. So, but yeah, is there anything you're playing or listening to besides? I mean, I know you've been working a ton as well, but
I don't get to play right now.
Yeah,
ask me in like a couple weeks.
There you go. So at least family time.
Yes.
At least you have some family time, some family support. Well, that's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to us. Again, I know this isn't our normal routine and this isn't our normal podcast that we do, but we just felt that it was important to talk about this. And I hope that we gave you either a new perspective, or hopefully this was also like a cathartic experience for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that things are rough in this world, and we want to entertain. For me, it was just hard to get excited about our normal show with this going on, because it just didn't feel like, man, it just doesn't matter.
Just need to get it off our chest.
Yep.
And next time we'll make you laugh. We promise.
Yes, next time we'll have an episode, especially if we record June 4th. Look for a new episode on June 5th. I'll edit it and get it out quick.
Yeah, you will.
John has high expectations, and he demands results.
I have needs. That's
yes,
all.
Exactly. So tune in next time. Next episode 4 will be PlayStation 5 focused. So we're hoping that it's going to be a good one. We're hoping it's going to be an exciting broadcast from PlayStation. And more importantly, I hope that we will find a common ground where we can all be equal and love and support each other. And I hope everyone who is protesting and is hurting, I hope that they remain safe, and I hope that they are... What's the word I'm looking for? I hope that your unease will
the pain goes
subside.
away.
There we go. We hope the pain will subside. We do. Because we know there are millions of you out there that are hurting. And we're hurting too.
We feel that pain.
My pain is just a little different, because obviously, my experience in life is very different from John's, for example.
Yep.
But I think we're all in agreement that we don't want these horrific accidents, these horrific things happening anymore.
No.
We want justice. We want people to love and work together and be in a safe place. Especially for, hey, we have kids.
Yes, I want my kids safe.
If we don't have it in our time, then, oh man, hopefully when our kids are older, things will be better. So, anyway, thank you so much. Feel free to follow us again on our socials. Enter code POD on Twitter and on Facebook. Go ahead and go to anchor.fm, and if you search Enter Code Podcast, you can leave us a voicemail. You can leave us a comment on our socials, whatever you want to do.
We're also on Spotify.
We are on Spotify. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Podcasts. We are on Stitcher. There's a couple other ones. I know that Anchor.fm has the voicemail option, but I do Spotify. What can I say? I really like Spotify. So let us know how you're feeling. Let us know if we can help you in any way. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.